And thank you for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. The Supreme Court ruled to partially reinstate the president's travel ban this week, and it actually began Thursday night. And although there was not the uproar like we saw back in January, it was met with protest. Mark Martin has the story.
Now that President Trump's travel ban is in effect, travelers from 6 Muslim-majority countries with links to terrorism have to meet certain requirements before they can enter the U.S. The countries affected include Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen.
The American public could have legitimate concerns about their safety when we open our doors.
No chaos at airports, which remained calm overall, although protesters gathered at LAX in Los Angeles.
We don't want to be living in a society where people are discriminated against.
They're trying to find a way into this arena of suppressing Muslim rights. So if they are successful with these countries, more countries will get added.
My family members are stuck in a war zone.
And at Union Square in New York.
I've been very mentally and emotionally drained from all of this for a while.
On Monday, the Supreme Court, in a unanimous decision, reinstated practically all of the revised travel ban, overturning lower court rulings that critics said amounted to liberal overreach. The High Court said travelers who could prove a bona fide relationship with a U.S. person or entity could enter the country. The State Department this week said the personal relationships include a parent, spouse, son, daughter, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, sibling, or fiancé already in the United States. The president's initial travel ban in January surprised travelers and fueled widespread protests. The revised version could lead to a new round of court battles. Already, the state of Hawaii filed an emergency motion requesting that a federal judge provide more clarification on what exactly counts as a personal relationship. The Supreme Court is scheduled to consider the overall ban in October. Mark Martin, CBN News.
The president is once again under fire for his Twitter account, this time for tweeting criticisms against MSNBC host Mika Brzezinski. He attacked the co-host of Morning Joe for her appearance. He recalled rejecting her request to travel with him because she was, quote, bleeding badly from a facelift. She responded, tweeting a photo of a Cheerios box with the phrase, made for little hands. Critics have often joked the president's hands are too small for his frame. House Speaker Paul Ryan also responded.
Look, what we're trying to do around here is improve the tone and the civility of the debate, and this obviously doesn't help do that.
The string of insults from the president came after Brzezinski repeatedly criticized him on her show. President Trump spotlighted an almost totally preventable tragedy, the number of Americans killed or otherwise victimized by the crimes against immigrants living in America illegally. In recent years, many rarely have been deported and were often given light sentences. Paul Strand shows us how some families are now fighting back.
Thank you very much for being here.
President Trump met with families who've lost members to illegal immigrant criminals just as they launched a campaign. They're trying to wake the public and lawmakers up to their argument that illegals commit far too many serious crimes against Americans.
Burglary, assault, rape, murder. We are AVIAC, advocates for victims of illegal alien crime.
At this launch in the nation's capital, members of the group talked about how they lost their loved ones, like Maureen Maloney's son Matthew, hit by a drunk illegal criminal who then ran over Matthew's body twice more.
Tragically, the unlicensed, drunk criminal alien made the fatal decision to flee. He ran over Matthew, and Matthew became trapped under the truck wheel well. Matthew was dragged over a quarter of a mile to his death as panicked, horrified onlookers tried frantically to get the driver to stop. The driver knew he was dragging Matthew, yet he continued to flee.
Marianne Mendoza spoke of her son Brandon.
An illegal criminal, 3 times the legal limit drunk, and high on meth, crashed head-on into my son's car, killing him after the illegal had traveled over 35 miles the wrong way on 4 different freeways in Phoenix. This illegal criminal had previously committed crimes in our country and was allowed to stay here.
Michelle Root's daughter Sarah was murdered last year.
All of our loved ones would still be here today if it wasn't for the person that was here illegally.
Congressman Steve King, a leading fighter in Congress against illegal immigration, echoed that theme.
Every one of those lives that have been snuffed out by someone who is unlawfully in America, illegal aliens, is a preventable death.
AVIAC member Don Rosenberg thanked King for his years-long battle to get illegal criminals off America's streets.
If only Washington had listened to his warnings, many of us would not be here today.
Brian McCann's brother Denny was killed by an illegal alien driver on a Chicago street.
And this kid just hit him. He was impaired and dragged him for several feet, almost an entire city block.
King points out a whopping 28% of the prison population are illegal immigrant criminals.
Crimes are committed in greater numbers by criminal aliens in this country than they are by American citizens. The GAO studies, at least 2 of them, prove that.
So King says many more families would be saved from tragedies like these families have suffered if the illegal criminals are removed from the U.S. or prevented from ever getting into the country in the first place. Sabine Durden believes such enforcement could have saved her son Dominic.
A previously deported 2-time felon, illegally here from Guatemala, decided that our laws don't apply to him. He already had 2 felonies, 2 DUIs on his record, and he was still on probation for his last DUI. The unlicensed killer turned left with his unregistered, uninsured truck in front of oncoming traffic and struck Dominic so hard that it threw my son into a wall.
AVIAC says it will fight for tough legislation as they shine a spotlight on the high costs the country pays for letting illegal criminals stay free to victimize Americans.
We are the families of victims of illegal alien crime, coming together as a united front to promote American safety and security.
Paul Strand, CBN News, Washington.
June is Pride Month for members of the gay community, and there is no shortage of media coverage. Some outlets and journalists have actually joined in the celebrations themselves, raising the question, what does it mean for people who choose not to celebrate? CBN's Jenna Browder reports.
It's Pride Month in America. Parades in the streets. Rainbow flags in windows.
The New York City Pride March.
And friendly news coverage to last for days.
Join Lori Stokes, Ken Rosado, and the Eyewitness News team for Fifth Avenue's most colorful event.
We are counting down the big 5 LGBT stories of the week.
In honor of LGBT Pride Month, Skittles has announced an all-white edition of its candy.
There is very little balance left in the media.
Matt Philbin with the Media Research Center focuses on social issues and how they're covered.
They take a reliably liberal, secular side on any social issue that comes up.
And there's plenty of proof to back up his point when it comes to LGBTQ issues. Did you see this? NBC Out, a news and information section highlighting LGBTQ life and culture. Or HuffPost, Queer Voices. PBS even getting in on the action with its own Pride page. And don't forget about sites like YouTube and Facebook that rolled out a number of special features to mark the month.
Do you think we'll ever see anything for conservative Christian values?
Oh, goodness, no. And I think it's probably best we don't, because if you look at the hash they make every time they try to report on conservative Christian values, you see that they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't see the people who go to church every Sunday. They don't see the people who just want the news reported to them. They see a group that they can flatter, they can pander to, and they can sell a lot of advertising around, and it makes commercial sense for them.
Sunday, June 25th at noon on ABC 7.
So if your values don't line up with these.
What's going to happen is there's going to be a further balkanization of the industry, because people don't have to get their news from ABC, NBC, CBS. And they're already turning other places in droves.
Change the channel or unsubscribe. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
Public schools in Kentucky can now teach children about the Bible through elective courses, thanks to a new bill approved by Governor Matt Bevin on Tuesday. The bill's sponsor says students need to understand the role the Bible plays in America's history. A state representative says it really did set the foundation that our founding fathers used to develop documents like the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. He added all of those came from principles from the Bible. The bill takes effect today. German lawmakers voted to legalize gay marriage today. The bill gives same-sex couples in Germany full marital rights and allows them to adopt children. Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel announced after the vote she believes marriage is between a man and a woman, but she hopes the decision will lead to, quote, social cohesion and peace. According to a recent survey taken by a German government agency, 83% of Germans are in favor of marriage equality. Two parents in the UK are losing the battle to save their child's life. The European Court of Human Rights ruled the parents of an infant fighting mitochondrial disease cannot bring him to America for treatment. Charlie Gard's parents believe experimental treatment here in the U.S. could save his life, but doctors in London say it's time to allow him to, quote, die with dignity. His parents took the battle all the way to the High Court, but they ruled in favor of the doctors. This means the baby's life support machine can now be turned off. Coming up, there is a sweet partnership brewing in this D.C. community, and the coffee is not bad either. See how one church is shining the light of Christ in the heart of the capital. D.C. coffee drinkers visiting Ebenezer's Coffee House may be surprised to learn their coffee fix is helping the neighborhood children. That's because each penny that comes in goes to Coffee with a Cause. As CBN's Ben Kennedy shows us, many of that money goes to local as well as international missions.
Most trendy coffee shops talk about their beans, roasters, or free Wi-Fi, but not this one.
Our slogan is Coffee with a Cause.
The cause is a kingdom cause.
That's because a DC church is the force behind each cup at Ebenezer's Coffee House.
Iced honey lavender latte.
Backtrack to 1908, when the building began as a diner across from Union Station to serve travelers on the train. Years later, the diner closed. And at one point, the abandoned building even served as a crack house. That is, until 2006, when National Community Church stepped in.
Turned that crack house into a coffee house. And I think that backstory is not just a fun backstory, but it's a picture of what I believe God does in all of our lives. He takes those broken places and brings healing.
That healing is now a part of the caffeine routine that keeps DC going.
And when people walk in, they think they're walking into a coffee house. The reality is they're walking into an answered prayer. The idea actually comes from Scripture, believe it or not. You know, Jesus didn't just hang out in the synagogue. He hung out at wells. Wells were natural gathering places in ancient culture. Coffee houses are postmodern wells.
The postmodern well serves thousands of people a year, and all profits go to mission trips.
I like the cause and what it goes for, you know, to support mission trips and further the cause of Christ.
One mission aims to help a new generation strengthen their faith, thanks in part to coffee sales. The DC Dream Center opens soon to inspire kids and push them to their God-given potential.
People begin to dream again when they see this new building coming up. And I hear it all the time. People come up and say, Mr. Ernest, is this for us? Is this really for us? And we're like, yes, it's for you. This is for the community. This is what the Lord has done.
The center features a basketball court to build friendship and teamwork. It could also be used as a meeting space and even for prayer. That prayer will continue in the center's new classroom, dance studio, computer lab, and rooftop view of Capitol Hill, all free to kids in need.
This is our dream wall. We want people to either write a dream, pray for a dream, or somehow become a part of a dream that they read off of here.
And each customer plays a part because their purchase helps a kid in need find their way through faith.
They don't get to hear that, like, oh, well, God did something for me. Oh, I never thought about that.
I have a little formula. The Holy Spirit plus caffeine equals awesome.
It is awesome. I'm Ben Kennedy for CBN News in Washington.
Up next, R-rated films bombing at the box office. See how filmmakers are learning the hard way. Racy movies aren't always the best option. The numbers suggest R-rated films are not very popular at the box office. Joining me now to break down those numbers and weigh in on the reasons why is Movie Guide's Evie Bear Carroll. Thank you so much for being here. Let's begin with this. What are the latest examples of R-rated movies not performing well?
Yeah, that's a great thing, right? One of the movies is Rough Night. The movie was made for $20 million. It only made $18 million. That means it wasn't even breaking even. Another movie was Amy Schumer's Snatched. That was the big one she was trying to promote. Well, it didn't do very well at all. Chips, which was a family TV show back in the day, they made it R. Why did they do that? Nobody knows, because it didn't do well. Baywatch. These movies didn't even break even on what it cost them to make. So it's a real loss. In fact, the Power Rangers director, that movie was made PG-13. It wasn't even R, but he said if he had made it PG, it would have done even better.
Wow. So the dreaded R rating, though, is nothing new. Why do you think directors still choose to produce R-rated films even though the numbers are showing they're not performing well?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's really interesting, right? What we've been tracking over the years, when we first started about 30 years ago, 80% of the movies were R-rated. The great thing is it's now 34% this year are R-rated. So it is decreasing, but studios are still doing them. One reason is sometimes the studios are trying to appease like a celebrity who wants to do this passion project, which is like kind of edgy and R-rated. And in that way, they appease the celebrity. Then the celebrity is willing to do a bigger movie for them, say, you know, the Transformers movie, and they'll be in that, and then they can market their name more. So it kind of helps them out. Also, studios are always still trying to think like, oh, maybe I'll reach the 18 to 25-year-old single woman who wants to go to Rough Night or an R-rated movie, or young man, 18 to 25, who wants to go. But we've found really that it's been decreasing, so that's a good thing. And like I said, the numbers are not adding up, and they're not even making what it cost them to make the movie.
Mm-hmm. Do we know how R-rated films fare on streaming services like Amazon and Netflix?
Streaming services are very different than the box office. In fact, Netflix is very closed off on their numbers of viewership. They talk about their subscribers, and we do find that their subscribers do skew a little younger. There was one company that's able to kind of watch their viewership, and they found that in the last year, they just did it for the last year, the top 20 movies, it was movies like Home and Lilo and Stitch and Jurassic Park 1 and 2. So they were family films. So that's a good thing. And if you kind of look at your Netflix, sometimes you see the trending movies are family films. So we would definitely say, like, our data shows that those movies probably, even on those platforms, don't do very well.
All right. Evie Beer-Carroll with Movie Guide, thank you so much for your time. Great insight today.
Thank you so much.
And stay with us. There's much more of CBN NewsWatch straight ahead. In search of some family-friendly entertainment this weekend, we've got a helpful movie review from our friends at Plugged In Online. This week, they're checking out Despicable Me 3.
Look, a unicorn horn!
I saw one once.
Was it fluffy?
It was so fluffy, I thought I was gonna die.
In the movie Despicable Me 3, the formerly felonious supervillain Gru is doing pretty well. He and wife Lucy are full-fledged agents for the Anti-Villain League now, and they've been forging close, loving bonds with their 3 adorable adopted daughters. But that honeyed happiness starts to dribble when Gru and Lucy are both fired for failing to capture criminal culprit Balthazar Brat.
Ha ha! Oh, what about that? What? Oh, girls!
And Gru's faithful minions get fed up with his newly reformed nice guy ways and leave in hopes of finding a true baddie to follow.
I have a twin brother.
Twin brother?
Then, out of the blue, Gru discovers his long-lost twin, Drew. And while the brothers get along famously, brother Drew only has one specific goal in mind. He wants Gru to teach him all he knows about being a super-duper bad guy.
Ready to be villains together? No, I left that life behind me. Just one heist.
It's an uncomfortable temptation back to the dark side.
I call the black one.
This rollicking animated pick is pretty much exactly what you'd expect it to be if you've seen either of the past 2 Despicable movies. There's yellow minion silliness, spy guy gadgets, tumbling antics, and a dash of loving family sweetness in the mix. Of course, that comes with plenty of thumping, exploding pratfalls, and some toilet humor gas gags, too. But I'm still giving this latest Despicable Me 4 blobs of self-inflating bubblegum out of 5 for family friendliness. For an in-depth review of this film or anything else at your local box office, visit us at PluggedIn.com. Plugging you into the movies, I'm Cheryl Wilhelmy for Focus on the Family's Plugged In Movie Review.
Major League Baseball umpire John Tompane saved a woman from jumping off a bridge in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Cell phone video shows him grabbing the woman after she climbed over one of the railings. Two others jumped in to help the woman, and she was eventually secured.
We got her back on this side, and after she came back on this side, I went up to her because she said, "You'll just forget me after this," and I said, "No, I'll never forget you. This was an unbelievable day, and I'm glad to say that she can have another day with us."
He also prayed with the woman before paramedics took her away, and he hopes to meet with her before she leaves the city. It is time now for your Friday Faithful, and today I'd like to pass along this message in hopes that it blesses you as much as it has throughout much of my life. This day marks the 22nd anniversary of the death of an aunt who was really more like a mother to me. Her name was Freddie Mae Gamble, and she always reminded me in life, the devil may leave you a package, but you don't have to sign for it. You don't have to take the devil's junk. God has given you the victory over every trick of the enemy. Walk in that and make this a fabulous Friday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about always at cbnnews.com. And we would love to hear what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. You can also reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend, and enjoy the holiday. We'll see you right back here come Monday. Goodbye and God bless.